Before the schism, there were Jews, not all like-minded. There were significant differences in first-century Judaism. But from our vantage point, we would likely see there one religion. Early Christian writings, the canonical Gospels, point to the many groups: Pharisees, Herodians, Zealots, Sadducees, and others, followers of the Baptist, followers of the Nazarene. Other ancient histories and modern archaeologists tell us of the Essenes, another Jewish sectarian group. There were many ways of being Jewish. But at some point, the Jesus followers, sometimes called Nazarenes, sometimes Christians, became other in the eyes of some Jews, who themselves became other in the eyes of some Jesus followers. At some point came a schism, a dividing. Schisms don't happen all at once, nor do they happen for a simple and single reason. There were seemingly communities of Jews, followers of Torah, who found themselves divided. With some of them, believers in the messianic identity of Jesus, a Messiah for Jews, in conflict with others, Jews who did not share their outlook or experience. Perhaps in the wake of these conflicts, we can see a shift in the language of early Christian writers. Whereas before, the landscape about Jesus was peopled with many varieties of Jewish parties, in the later gospel, the Gospel of John, the Pharisees, Sadducees, and so on, give way to a simpler divide. Jesus and his followers on one side, and the Jews on the other. The relations are not at all friendly. Does this reflect the aftermath of a divorce? A schism? A community that was one, no longer one? Now two? The followers of Jesus and the Jews, outsiders to each other? Complicating the relation even more was the growth of Greek or Gentile Christianity through a theology expressed by the Christian apostle Paul. Here the ritual identity of the Jew as a Torah follower was reinterpreted, displaced, so as to yield to a new sense of identity in Christ. One of Paul's followers saw this as an act that removed a wall dividing Jew from non-Jew, bringing all together in unity. But what did this signal to the communities of Jews whose identity was firmly grounded in the traditions of Torah observance? Did it signal a call to Jews to erase themselves as Jews for the sake of a promised but uncertain unity? And did the claim of Paul and his followers to be the new reality of the ancient faith paint traditionalist Jews as recalcitrant, stubborn, insisting on a narrowness of vision? These traditionalist Jews, with their developing sense of a Judaism founded in daily observance of the divine guidance of the law, could not look at the new communities of Gentile and mixed Jesus followers and see in them Jews or religious kinfolk of any sort. Meanwhile, a rebellion, a war, the Roman sieges and victory, the defeat of Judea, conquered, many Jews enslaved by the victors, the temple in Jerusalem, a center of religious practice for many Jews, destroyed, its treasure looted. A psychic blow, enormous in its impact for Jews and their history. And ammunition for those opposed to them, the Roman conquerors, as well as those who might once have been thought of as Jews, but now some others. Seeing the tragedy of Jerusalem as divine judgment. And they worked on their theologies to make sense of the course of tradition, the course of history, how to interpret the one become two, the overlapping of scriptures, the apparent commonality in worshiping both the God of Israel. Differentiation could be made easier if the divorce erased the sense that unity ever really had happened, if the idea of unity was a mirage, a false memory. The middle of the 2nd century of the Common Era. Enter Marcion. The Christian way was not the Jewish way. Different faiths, different gods, different scriptures, divergent ways, taking Paul farther to a separation of law and grace. Two religions, full stop. Enter Justin the Martyr for a still sharp differentiation, but less radical. Jews were the past, Christians the future. Jews uncomprehending, Christians seeing clearly. The law suitable only as preparation for Jesus and the gospel. Israel as a path, leading beyond itself to its successor, the Church. Justin Martyr was the main voice of the ongoing dominant tradition for the majority of Christians, with Marcion a muted but still present voice among those for whom Hebrew text and tradition would always be alien, opposed, an enemy. The dominant tradition would write variations on the theme of Justin's interpretation of Paul, with anti-Jewish grace notes added and improvised. Even in this dominant tradition, the contemporary Jew would be an other, one who might possibly be reconciled, but only by erasing what made them a Jew.